My name is Kurt Ove Johnsen, and I'm gonna interview Vivek Anandi, who will speak about 5G on the Spiritual World Conference. So Vivek, can you please tell us something about yourself? Can you start with your background?
Yes, well, my name is Vivek Anandi and I have studied physics in Norway. So my background is from something called fluid mechanics. I studied to be an engineer. And that all started actually with a book called Electromagnetism and Life that I read when I was 18, which blew my mind. I thought it was so interesting. Because till then, as everybody else in school, I had kind of learned to know the body through this paradigm where the body is only composed of chemical reactions and blood and bone, and we have a very mechanical view on the body. But this book was about research that showed that the electric or the electromagnetic aspect of the body is equally important, maybe even more important. So, for example, in the book it was about a lizard growing legs. If a lizard has its electromagnetic field undisturbed, it can grow legs that are broken or cut off, it can just grow it again. But if the field is disturbed, it cannot grow the leg again. So then I decided to study physics. For some reason I didn't study electromagnetism. I got more interested in engineering and fluid mechanics. But, well, I studied physics. Then I got a severe burnout and started my spiritual journey, started looking into searching for truth, searching for who I was and everything. So that was a little bit about my background.
Interesting. And now you are working with 5G. Can you tell about that?
Yes, I'm working in an environmental organization in Norway to stop the 5G rollout. It's a difficult task because very many people still believe that the body is a mechanical, sort of just composed of mechanical reactions and chemical reactions. And also, the industry has done a good job in suppressing all this research that has been done that shows otherwise, that shows how important the electricity and electromagnetism is for our health. So it's going uphill, but it's going. Yeah, and I'm very proud of my organization, I must say, because they're the only environmental organization I know that has realized that this is actually a very big problem for the environment, not only for humans and for our health, but for insects and for all biological life. So what I try to raise the awareness of is that we really don't need all this wireless technology. Wireless technology has its place sometimes, but mostly it's not necessary, and it's really much wiser to go for cable networks and safe technology. Especially in schools where Wi-Fi is really, it's used a lot in Norway. Every school has Wi-Fi, I think, but if we knew the dangers of it, we would probably cable the networks, and it would be a good, money well spent. Yeah.
So can you please tell us some more about what you will speak about on the conference?
Yes, on the conference I will mainly focus on all the scientific findings on electromagnetic radiation, and that are findings from 4G and 3G and Wi-Fi and 2G. Not so much 5G, but a little bit as well. 5G can also have very serious implications for us health-wise. And I want to speak about that because I believe it's better to see the reality as it is, or the probable health effects that we might face. So I want to go into it in a pretty scientific way, I would say.
Is there any significant difference between 5G and 4G?
Absolutely. I have to say the researchers who are experts on this, they are also worried about 4G. It's just that these are long-term very serious effects, like affecting our DNA. But with 5G, they expect the effects to come much faster. And you see already by studying the infrastructure of 5G that it's going to be radiation everywhere and impossible to escape for people. They will have antennae every 100 to 250 meters everywhere, billions of them in the world, and they're also launching satellites in low orbit around the Earth. Now they have allowance for 100,000 satellites.
Do you have any thoughts about the 5G's rollout? What will it mean for humans?
Oh, for us as human beings, it has several implications on many different levels. First, it is the health aspect, of course. We have to face the possibility of humanity dying out because of the gradual destruction of DNA that's happening from this type of radiation. And really look into that, if that's what we want, or if there's any way to resist it. And of course there is. I mean, we don't know how this will end, but for many people, it gives them more joy fighting against it and resisting it and fighting for what they love than just giving up. So that's a kind of moral and spiritual question, whether you care about what happens to the world and to humanity after you've left, because it's not like you're gonna die at once from 5G. No, it's gonna be a long-term effect. We don't know how long. But also on another level, it's a big question for us, because 5G is meant to give the network capacity for a big rollout, which is called the fourth industrial revolution, a rollout of smart things, devices that will, like, we can expect, if this is going as big tech plans it, we can expect to have all our products equipped with microchips that are detecting all our activities and all our interactions with them. So there will be no place really where we have any privacy. And also this is involving something called transhumanism, where the human is merging with the machine, which is posing quite a question about where our free will be if this happens, if we go for an implant in our bodies. I see it as very unlikely that we will have any free will anymore, and the same if the industrial revolution with the smart things is really expanding as it looks like it will right now. So we're facing really quite some spiritual questions here.
Do you see some spiritual connection between the problems we see in the youth today? It's in health problems in different planes, but do you see some of them connected to the spiritual life?
Yes, well, first it's affecting us in our cognition. And I think that's very clear with young people, especially, that more and more young people have all kinds of diagnosis on cognition and behavioral disorders. So that's the radiation part. The radiation is affecting us cognitively and making it more difficult to function normally, like what we would call normally. Also, all these interactions with digital games and social networks and the internet generally, we should be aware that it's firing dopamine to our brains all the time, and it's kind of putting us in a mode which is very functional, very analytical, very left brain, and taking us more and more away from our spiritual selves and our true nature. Very few children and young people today know how to be alone without any stimulus from digital technology, and they use digital technology to have company, really. We should be aware of how the digital technology plays with us, because so many games and social network algorithms are made to make us addicted and stay at the screen as long as possible.
Very interesting. I'm looking forward to hear more from you in the conference. Thank you very much, Vivek.
Yes, thank you too.